In this video, I'm going to show you how to repair the screen on the iPhone 7 using only 3 tools. Now we can get this whole process done in only 5 minutes. You only need 3 tools, 2 screwdrivers and 1 razor blade knife. Okay, so tools we need are 0.6 tri-wing Y-tip screwdriver, the 0.8 PENTALOBE 5-point screwdriver, a thin razor blade, the thinner the better. So let's start off first by powering off our phone. It's very important to power off your phone before you work on it. Let's remove the 2 screws on the bottom of the phone using the 5-point PENTALOBE screwdriver. It's best to use a magnetic screwdriver. The screws are very small to be lost. After removing the 2 screws, place those off to the side and we'll get our razor blade tool. And what we want to do here is slide it in between the frame and the glass. So you don't want to just force it in there. You kind of want to slide it in, find a spot where you're not scratching anything. And a key part of this is only going towards the left side of the phone. The right side has cables that you could damage or cut. So you only want to go off the left side of the phone. Now what I'm doing here, after I get it up a little bit, I kind of just pry it up with my fingers. And you can just go around the phone to remove the adhesive with the razor blade. But remember, only on the left side of the phone, we're going to lift the screen up. If we lift it up on the right side, we'll snap those cables. And if you can see here, those are the cables. They're on the right side. We need to remove the 4 screws on the bottom and the 3 screws on the top. There's 1 cable there and 2 on the bottom. So let's use our tri-wing screwdriver. This is also a magnetic screwdriver. Since we're dealing with really small screws, I definitely recommend using a magnetic screwdriver. After removing the screws, we can lift up the heat shield. Now here's the battery cable. We'll disconnect that first, place it off to the side. And the next 2 cables, we'll just lift those up with our fingernail and set that off to the side. We'll go up to the top of the phone, use our tri-wing screwdriver, remove the 3 screws. After removing the screws, take off the heat shield and place it off to the side. There's only 1 cable here. Lift that up with your fingernail. And we have successfully removed the screen. Now, since this is only a tutorial how to take it off, and my screen's not broken, I'm going to use the same screen to put it back on. So I start with the innermost cable first. And when you're setting these cables in place, you don't want to force them on. You kind of want to wiggle them around until you can feel that they snap onto the motherboard. Once you feel that snap, then push down. And don't forget to connect the battery cable. After those are connected, we'll replace the heat shield. Now there is a slight difference with the cable on the top. This is kind of a longer cable and it's bent. So here, I just put it on one time. Let's do this again and I'll show you a little bit closer. So You definitely don't want to pull on this cable because you can break it, and it's extremely easy to break it. So you just kind of hold it, and like I said before, you don't want to push too hard or else the connector is going to go bad. You just want to wiggle it around, and when you feel like it's kind of snapping into place, that's when you'll give more pressure. But you definitely don't want to force these cables on. So once that's on, we'll just set it off to the side and replace the heat shield. So we completed that. When we're putting our screen back on, you want to start from the top. So push the top down first, and then you slowly go around the phone, pushing the rest of the screen into place. But you always want to start with the top. After the screen is secured, we want to reinstall the 2 bottom screws. And that's it. You can power back on your phone. If you had any problems doing this, I'd go back and recheck all the steps. Mostly checking on the 2 cables. Make sure that those are plugged in correctly.